a little slighter group than we normally have on our Monday morning level 1 training, but we will do level 1 training nonetheless. Mr. Jordan, how are you? Why is it so cold? You're wearing a vest.
Up here in Colorado is in the 50s this morning.
Uh-oh. If you'll take it, are you going to get back to the 70s at some point? Yeah, you will.
Oh yeah.
Good deal. We'll wait another 30 seconds, see if anybody joins in, then we'll have some fun this morning. Lots of good things. Let's start with this. Miss Nixon, tell me about your week. Anything special the last week? Any wins?
Yes, I did have some wins. I was at a team barbecue last week, had a great conversation with Gary, who happens to be on this call.
Yep.
And he gave me some valuable wisdom, and I will say that I have successfully registered for the Build 22 event. I'm going to go get fired up and get busy.
Well, I will tell you this, any of us that are interested in agent attraction, physically being at the Build event will matter. We'll talk about that in just a second as people are joining. Welcome everybody as you're coming on. We've got some faces we have seen and faces we haven't for a while. Want to introduce Malachi Byrne back to the group. Malachi was cranking last year and then we discussed it, purposely sidetracked into some other things over the spring and the summer, but he's coming back at school and back in the recruiting realm. Malachi, welcome back. You're still unmuted, so be careful with what you say. It's real careful. Also have my high school buddy, Dave Sloniker. Dave and I went to high school together, although I understand he looks much better than I do. Dave lives in Texas. He's outside of Waco, and he is here to gather more excitement for agent attraction. As we were talking about this a few minutes ago, the Build conference, both of these gentlemen, along with Christy, are coming. For those of you that have not registered, if you're going to recruit agents over the next year, then give yourself the absolute best advantage and immerse yourself for 3 days with 5,000 of us that are going to do the exact same thing. It's going to be in Dallas. It's the 23rd to the 25th. You can go to pop this in buildevent22.com. If you'll post that in the chat bar, somebody, buildevent22.com has all the details. Right now, the only tickets available on that site are the gold seating. There are ways to pick up general admission and silver seating by just going to some of the groups that are in Workplace and posting there looking for tickets. The Build 22 exchange or Build 2022 exchange. So look for that, find a ticket, but no matter what the cost, it's worth you being there if you are wanting to sponsor agents. You'll have 45 to 50 people going on stage telling you exactly what they're doing and exactly how they're doing it. The keynote speaker at the end on Thursday is Tony Robbins. You sort of can't get Tony in a private experience other than ours. He doesn't do private experiences. He only does Tony Robbins things. So he'll be there Saturday on Thursday, which is the final day. So again, it's the 23rd, 24th, 25th. I guess I could do this because that's what I'm supposed to do as the leader of the call. I'm supposed to go just like this and go to buildevent22.com and da-da-da. There you go. So you want to find out all about it? Go there to find out all about it. The cool thing about it is the agenda. I want you to know, we on Tuesday, we go from 2 to 6. Wednesday, we do go 9 to 12, and then 2 to 6. But Thursday, again, is only 1 to 6. And that's pretty much Tony Robbins through that session. So I want you to understand that's the agenda, and it's worth being there. This is not a rah-rah, although this girl is definitely charged. This isn't a rah-rah type event. What this event will do is work internally on you on all the things you're looking to, all the things you're looking to do. Whatever you're looking for, you're going to find. Okay, that's what I'll tell you. Whatever you're looking for in agent attraction, if you're looking for a phrase, you'll find it. If you're looking for a comeback, you'll find it. If you're looking for courage, you'll find it. If you're looking to be part of a group that you don't feel a part of yet, you'll find it. Okay. I'll tell you what Brent told me. If you go to the event and it wasn't worth it, we'll pay you back, the ticket fee, because it's worth it. All you got to do is make the commitment to go. Things are still very inexpensive flying all over the country. It's weird flying to Dallas. Kim, what did you just find last week going from San Diego? How much?
$281 round trip.
Unbelievable. Maliki, what do you find going from wherever you are in Chicago? What do you find?
Like only $200.
Yeah. So, guys, make the commitment to go. Why? Because I asked you to. Okay. We are doing a special dinner on the 23rd. If you're coming, make sure we know. On that night, we're going to go to Sean Sturrock's favorite Italian restaurant. It's right down the street. We'll make sure you get there and back. It's we're going to have 25 to 30 of us all in one room. Buffet style food. Food's incredible. Bring your own wine, which makes it even better. And if you're looking for a last minute room, we can partner up with other people and all that. It is worth going. If you're wondering, don't wonder. You come here on Mondays and Thursdays to get advice. I'm giving you advice. It's the best 3 days you can spend if you want to be attracting agents, because you'll immerse yourself in all things. Now, by the way, with that said, each speaker is responsible for bringing up one transaction point, how to get with their new thing to do, what they're doing right now to get more transactions. So you are going to get fed on both sides, but it's definitely an agent attraction event. Anybody have any questions about it? Mac, nice to see you, brother. I know you're going to be there. How are things in Houston?
Going well, going well.
Good deal, good deal. We're excited to have you here. And we will go ahead and get started. Anybody have a question about the event at all? If so,
I'm super excited.
Yay. Why are you super excited, Paula? Have you ever been to a build event?
Not a build event. I've been to EXP events, but not a build. And I love just how I leave there. I'm just so motivated, and it's just always good to feed your brain this good stuff.
Isn't it weird? The people that want to come will say, I'm excited because I know when I get to, it's going to be a great time. We all have a great time. We're going to collaborate. We all have a chance to do that. We get a chance to meet, which most of us really have never had a chance to really do, especially in the last couple of years. But the biggest part of it is, if you're there, you move ahead. If you're not there, doesn't mean it's a problem. You just don't have any chance to move aggressively ahead.
Yeah.
Hyper speed. It's like hitting a hyperspeed button in a video game. It just helps you go faster. So with that said, Paula, glad you're there. Morel, I've been plugging the event. Anything you want to add? You aren't muted, but I can't hear you.
Oh, there we go. Tomorrow? You talking about tomorrow?
No, the build event. The build
Oh,
event.
the build event. Oh, okay. I'm
So
sorry.
you were there last year. What happened for you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, it was amazing. I mean, Tony Robbins, of course, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, that was the quickest 5 hours or 4 hours I've ever been through in my life. His energy and everything. It was awesome. But no, all the nuggets. I mean, hearing everybody, I don't know, pages and pages of notes, just different things you pick up along the way. This guy's using this. Wow, I never heard of that before. And you're finding out just new things and new ideas. But no, it's awesome. You come back from that, you're ready to go. It's really, really good. And then honestly, just even outside of the event, like just those one-on-one talks, the coffees, the breakfast, the lunches, just hooking up with all these different people from all over the country. Powerful stuff. So you definitely want to be there.
And as you and I always talk about, if you've never been to a build event, do what I ask one time. I'll never ask you to go again. You'll know why you should go. So with that said, let me launch today into something I think is really, really important. The topic for today is how to invite to new Zoom meetings. There are some brand new Zoom meetings that you're already aware of, presentations that are already existing. Some of us know that on Wednesdays, we have those at 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock on this same link. We always do Wednesday, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. The only Wednesday this month will be during build, which will be the 24th. But outside of that, every Wednesday, 3 and 6 Central Time, we're doing a live presentation. Tim Holland did it myself. We're going to talk today about how to invite towards that. But part of me By the way, welcome all of you that haven't been here regularly. Don't forget, every Monday we do a level 1 training just like this. Every Thursday, we do a level 2 training for those of you that are making calls consistently. Doesn't mean level 1 people can't show up on level 2. You can, but I do recommend those of us that are working regularly to show up to both. Last thing, on Tuesdays, we run a More Transaction Tuesday, which means tomorrow we're going to talk about how to get more transactions immediately. It's not agent attraction. It is about more transactions, but you can invite your prospects to come hear what we're doing for all of the Freedom Team group. Remember, the Freedom Team is now close to 3,000 agents in 48 states, in 7 or 8 countries now. And what we do is we help each other succeed. So tomorrow is Tuesday. Jeff runs that. What are we doing tomorrow, Jeff?
Tomorrow, we're trying to do this, get in this mode like the first Tuesday of every month, just open forum. So I'm about to tell you, the more people obviously get on there, bring your questions, any questions, something you're dealing with right now on a deal, something you had last week on a deal, something about marketing, something about the market shift, just any open forum for anything and everybody to come in, and we got people on there, we'll all just mastermind. It's a true mastermind. That's what we want the first Tuesday to be. So we're doing that tomorrow. So I really want to encourage you guys to all come. There'll be things that you might not have something right now you're dealing with, but how can you help somebody else? Because you hear something that triggers, man, I went through that a month ago on a deal. Let me tell you what I did, so we'll be hitting all kinds of stuff with that. So yeah, just open forum tomorrow, back to another training then next Tuesday.
Yep.
So.
And I don't want anybody to forget that we have, we just launched the workplace calendar for the month. For those of you that don't know, if you are all part of the Freedom Team in Workplace. If you haven't been added or you haven't accepted it, if you can't get into it, it looks just like this, by the way. For those of you, all you got to do is go into Workplace, and all you got to do is find it, and it'll pull up just like this. We're on Zoom, so it takes a second longer, but there we go. And so over here, it's called the Freedom Team. And if you're not part of the Freedom Team, then go to the Freedom Team and actually ask to be added. If we can add you right now, if you're not part of it, just let us know. But the coolest thing is right up top is the calendar. And the calendar says, we've got agent attraction level 1 every Monday. Every Tuesday, we've got transactions. Every Wednesday, we have more things for lead gen. If you want to do that, Kim runs it at the same time every Wednesday. Don't forget the 31st of this month, I'm going to be interviewing Glenn Sanford. And on Thursdays, level 2. Okay. With that said, don't forget Workplace Freedom Team. That's where you find it. Okay, guys and gals. Now we go to the training for the morning. All the administration and the housekeeping has been done. One of the things I talk about regularly is being consistent with something. And I happened to watch a video on being in love, as weird as it may sound, that speaks directly to what I talk about regularly, which is being consistent. And what you're going to find out that this speaker talks about, I'm going to put on for about 5 minutes, and I think it'll be compelling. Some of you have heard this speaker before. He's one of my top 5 speakers of all time in anything he does. He does one speech that's probably been watched, I can't tell you how many, umpteen millions of times. But what I'm about to show you, don't worry about what he's talking about relating to love, although you can. Take lessons, guys and gals. I promise it works. It definitely makes sense. But I want you to relate it to what we're doing. He's going to talk about love and leadership. I want you to think about being consistent. So with that said, give me 1 second, share screen. I'll be back to you in about 5 minutes. Let me go ahead and get this thing all tuned up. The power of love. Let me optimize for video clip. And here we go.
Yes, right? Prove it. Like, what's the metric? Give me the number that helps me know, right? Because when you met her, you didn't love her, right? Now you love her, right? Tell me the day the love happened. It's an impossible question, right? But it's not that it doesn't exist. It's that it's much easier to prove over time, right? So all leadership is the same thing. It's about transitions. So if you were to go to the gym, right? It's like exercise, right? If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing, right? So clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit, right? Or if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, like in a relationship, I bought her flowers and I wished her happy birthday, and she doesn't love me. Clearly I'll give up. You know, that's not what happens. If you believe there's something there, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day. You can skip a day or two. You know, it allows for that. But if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. I know it. And the same with the relationship. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency, right? You go to the dentist twice a year, your teeth will fall out. You have to brush your teeth every day for 2 minutes. What does brushing your teeth twice a day for 2 minutes do? Nothing. Unless you do it every day, twice a day for 2 minutes, right? It's the consistency. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get you into shape. Working out every day for 20 minutes gets you into shape. So the problem is we treat leadership with intensity. We have a 2-day offsite, we invite a bunch of speakers, we give everybody a certificate, you're a leader, right?
So you want to know where to invest $1,000 right now?
We don't.
Well, forget about stocks, real estate, or cryptocurrency.
Those things are like going to the dentist. They're very important. They're good for reminding us or getting us back on track, learning new lessons. But it's the daily practice of all the monotonous, little, boring things like brushing your teeth that matter the most. She didn't fall in love with you because you remembered her birthday and bought her flowers on Valentine's Day. She fell in love with you because when you woke up in the morning, you said good morning to her before you checked your phone. She fell in love with you because when you went to the fridge to get yourself a drink, you got her one without even asking. She fell in love with you because when you had an amazing day at work and she came home and she had a terrible day at work, you didn't say, yeah, but let me tell you about my day. You sat and listened to her awful day and you didn't say a thing about your amazing day. This is why she fell in love with you. I can't tell you exactly what day, and it was no particular thing you did. It was the accumulation of all of those little things that she woke up one day and as if she pressed a button, she goes, I love him, right? Leadership is exactly the same. There's no event. There's no thing I can tell you you have to do that your people will trust you. It just doesn't work that way. It's an accumulation of lots and lots of little things that anyone by themselves is innocuous and useless. Literally, pointless by themselves. People will look at little things that are good leadership practices and say, that won't work. And you're absolutely right. But if you do it consistently, and you do it in combination with lots of other little things, like saying good morning to someone, that looking them in the eye. My friend George, who's a 3-star general in the Marine Corps, he says his test for leadership, and I love this, he goes, his test for a good leader is if you ask somebody how their day is going, you actually care about the answer. Right? The number of times we're walking to a meeting, we're rushing, we go, how are you? Not good, I gotta get to you later, I'm late for a meeting. Right. If you ask the question, you were standing there and you were listening to the answer. It's those little innocuous things that you do over and over and over and over that people will say, I love my job. Not I like my job. I like my job means, yeah, the challenge is great, they pay me well, I like the people. I love my job means, I don't want to work anywhere else. I don't care how much somebody else is willing to pay me. I'm devoted to the people here, and I care desperately about the people here as if they were my family. In business, we have colleagues and coworkers. In the military, they have brothers and sisters. That's how they think of each other, right? If you really have a strong corporate culture, the people will think of each other like brothers and sisters. It's like a family, right? No, brothers and sisters. Deep love. Fight, but the love doesn't go away. Right? Bicker, the love doesn't go away. And I'll fight with my sister, but if you threaten my sister, you're gonna have to deal with me. Right? Right? We'll fight internally, we'll bicker with each other, but nobody's gonna hurt each other, and if anything from the outside shows up, you're looking at a unified front. Brothers and sisters. Now, how do you create brothers and sisters out of strangers? Common beliefs, common values, you know? Parents, in other words, executives who care about their children's success, who care to raise their children, teach them skills, discipline them when necessary, help them build their self-confidence so that they can go on and achieve something more than you could have ever imagined achieving for yourself. That's leadership. an absolute love and devotion for the people who've committed their lives to this enterprise. It's a human thing. So just as you know how your body feels after a good workout, and you know how your body feels after a big greasy meal, you know that one is good for you and one is not, despite what it may taste like.
So what's the leaping off point for that? Well, am I trying, or are we trying as leaders to build that brother and sister community? We are. Are you as agent attraction people attempting to build a muscle for agent attraction through consistency? You are. And just like with love, you're not going to fall in love with the process we have if it is too emotional. Because the process takes too long for you to fall in love with it. Look, you either love connecting with other agents and asking if they're open-minded to take a look at another brokerage, or you don't love that. If you love that, don't question it, just do it. But if you don't love it, the only way to fall in love with it is through small, minor movements that build up into a flow that makes you realize, wow, I can do this. I'm pretty good at this. And when it comes to other agents you're talking to, the little things matter, right? Asking them how they're doing and caring. When they tell you something, not immediately telling them how we can solve their problem here, but understanding what the problem is there. Some of this goes back to really caring about the person you're talking with. Some of this goes back to realizing that we are blessing agents when we're sharing this with them, that we're the blessing. It's our information that's the blessing. And all we want them to do is, look, I'll use this as a purely an analogy. My brother and his wife are very evangelistic for Christianity. Now, I'm not going to say they do it in a way that puts people off, because I don't think they do. But I know this, when they're talking to someone about their life, not necessarily about God, but about their life, it's weird. I can see on my brother and his wife's face this smile they have. Like, oh, tell me more. Really? Tell me more. And why am I bringing it in today? Here's why. Because we're in the middle of summer and it's hot outside. And it seems like it zaps our energy consistently. And one of the things that tends to happen when you get your energy zapped is you don't do the things that are emotional. So it's more important than ever before for the next 4 or 5 weeks that you build the muscle for agent attraction by remembering the little things. I promise, as leaders, we're going to remember to keep pouring into you, keep adding value, at least available for you, whether it be through Mondays and Thursdays attraction, whether it be Tuesdays and Wednesdays transactions, whether it be the special opportunities like the Brent Gove calls, the Jason Gessing calls, the Glenn Sanford interviews. We're going to continue to pour into you, and here's why. Because we care about you. Oh, you really only care about, helping me get more agents so you can make more money. There's a way to make more money doing lots of things, and there's some things that are easier than this, I promise you. But here's why we do it. The 5 of us do this because we want to. Right? Jeff, Tim, and myself that are on today, we spend hours a week doing this for you. This is not why I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this because what we want is you to duplicate us and spend hours a week doing it for others. And your others are your prospects. Your others are the people who you're trying to get to trust you. And the best way to get them to trust you is just to understand their story. And we don't know how many pieces of information that takes for them to fall in love with you, just like Simon Sinek said. We don't know how long that takes, but we know it's not day one. I'm going to pause for a minute. There's some more training I want to come from this. And I do want to get into what we say and how we say it. But I really want people to feel the emotion of three things. Number one, this is a long-term run. This is not short-term. This is a long-term run. If you're not prepared to work with us for the next 6 or 7 months, then 6 days isn't going to matter. Here's the second thing. If it's a long-term run, you got to choose who you're going to trust. And here's where the rubber hits the road. You're either going to trust us or you're going to trust you. Let me say that again. You're either going to trust us and what we're trying to guide you to do, or you're going to trust you and what you think you're supposed to be doing. And for this 6-month phase between now and the end of the year, 5 months, I recommend you do what you haven't been doing, which is trusting us. It's not that you don't trust us, but you always counter it against what you're willing to do. Why don't you think about it this way? Why don't you be willing to do everything we tell you? Rather than build up, well, I'll do that, and maybe I'll do that, and maybe I'll do that. How about this? How about come into the locker room, go to the locker we assign you, change your clothes and put all the padding on that's right in front of you, grab the playbook and study it. In our case, the playbook is, right, a contacting phrase. And come onto the field and let the coach tell you, we're going to stretch, we're going to run this play. We got a half a practice today. Quit questioning what we're telling you or why we're telling you it and just do it. Now, I'm not saying you have to, but I'm going to ask the question, do you think every other agent attraction person that you come across, people like Brent Gove, who I interviewed last week, who's making more than 7 figures a month, he's making more than double 7 figures a month, meaning single. He's making great money, and here's what's exciting. He's following all the things I'm telling you, except one. He doesn't do cold contacting. Why? He doesn't have to. But he talks to every single person he comes across. And if he comes across someone cold, he absolutely does talk to him. He doesn't pick up the phone and call someone cold. And many of us do. Let me address those of you that don't have to. If you've been in the industry for a year or 5 and you have not aggressively gone to talk to the people that you've already connected with in some way, then I highly recommend you listen to Tim Hollanden's video on the 6 areas to build your list. If you need to find out what that is, then put it in the chat box and we'll make sure you get a copy of it. But if you haven't gone through all of your warm contacts, quit going cold. But if you have to go cold, let's remember 2 things. This is the third piece of it. The first piece is, remember, you've got to decide that you're going to try something that you haven't tried. Number 2 is you got to trust something you haven't trusted. And number 3, you have to act on it. And acting on it doesn't mean doing the work. It means doing the work and coming back and doing the harder work, which is improving. Doing the work's easy. Hey, anybody want to get into EXP? Anybody want to get into EXP? Oh, that doesn't work. Now I got to figure out how to do it. I got to come back and improve myself. It feels like you got to go to the gym and it hurts and it's sore for a couple of days until all of a sudden you look in the mirror one day and you go, wait a second, that's a tricep. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. The exact same thing will happen with agent attraction. There's going to come a time where you go, I finally know what I'm doing. You're no longer questioning whether you can do it. You're no longer questioning what you should be doing. And it doesn't mean the results are coming in. Here's what it means. It means you're now in a position where you know you're doing the same things that all of us are doing. We're looking at a list. We're looking at a time frame in our day, and we're picking up the phone, calling someone up and saying, hey, it's Eric with EXP. How you doing today? Awesome. Dude, I've been checking you out for a while. You're really killing it. I looked at your volume online. And as you probably know, EXP is exploding everywhere. But I'm not calling to get you to change brokerages. I'm calling, first of all, to say you had a heck of a year. How's the market? And then let them get into a conversation. And then from there, say, look, the real reason I'm calling is just to see with your volume, there's 1,000 agents a week joining the company. And I'm curious to know this. Have you actually seen why these 1,000 agents are moving? Have you actually seen our 2022 presentation? More importantly, has someone personalized it for you? Hey, Jim, have you seen it? That's the contact. By the way, those of you that want to learn the contact, especially those of you that want to add the Freedom Team piece in it, we just wrote a brand new contact. Dave and Maliki, I've upgraded what I've already sent you. Go to Workplace. Kim, where is that? It's right there posted in Workplace. Where's the new contact I just sent you?
Sorry about that. Yes, it's at the very top of Workplace right now. It's also the first item in the files section of our Workplace group.
So you guys want the newest and strongest? That's where to go. So with that said, you've seen a lot, you felt a lot. Let's go with the leadership first, if we may. Tim, Jeff, anything to add or subtract from? Nope. Thumbs up. Moving ahead. Anybody, the video you saw, what connected with you? What made you go, wow, that's interesting? Whether it be your love life, your sponsorship life, or your life. Anybody? Feedback, it's important.
I just kind of talked about how consistency is everything, how, you know, brushing your teeth for 2 minutes a day, just doing it once won't do you anything. But if you do it every day consistently, it will. Same thing with going to the gym for 9 hours, won't do anything. But if you do it 20 minutes a day, it will.
Well, you've been around agent attraction. You've made calls. You've done it about as successfully as anybody in this group, although you haven't done it for a while. Did you find that yourself, that when you started doing it consistently, everything came significantly easier?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Anybody else? Another comment or question? Good deal. With that said, let's go to what we normally cover in agent attraction, merged with the message I just shared, which is this. If you're not going to be consistent doing what we're about to talk about, then it's not going to work for you. We know this. Every Wednesday, we have an EXP Explain presentation. Again, I mentioned it's at 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock every Wednesday. So if you are picking up the phone to call someone today, one of the things I would say, I would change the contacting phrase by adding this phrase. It's, hey, Eric with EXP, blah, 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 talk to you for a second. Hey, man, you got a minute for me? Yeah, I got a minute for me. Good. How's things going? I'm in Orlando. My market's shifted a little bit. Has yours softened as well? Yeah, it has. Hey, let me tell you why I'm calling. Your volume's ideal for one of our programs. I'm not asking you to change brokerages. There's about 1,000 agents a week moving to the company. And I'm curious to know whether you've seen recently our most recent presentation. We're doing 2 live presentations on Wednesday. And I was hoping you'd sit in and just take a look at to see what 1,000 other agents are joining. Do you have any chance to be available on Wednesday between 3 o'clock, either 3 o'clock Central Time or at 6? Can we get you on a Zoom? That's the comment. It's that simple. I would do that on a Monday. I would do that on a Tuesday. And if you're calling people Wednesday morning, I would do it on Wednesday. And when they say, oh, you know what, I can't make it, say, great, not a problem. When can you, let's grab 30, 45 minutes. When can you do that? It rolls right into they're not available. You can set up your own private one. Now, some of you have other EXP Explains you can plug people into. You're in groups that have other presentations. So you can always plug them into those. But the benefit of having a Wednesday presentation is you can ask someone if they're available during the contact at the beginning, early on. In fact, if you know somebody well, Mac, I'm going to use you for an example. You don't have to come on microphone, but I'm going to use you an example. I know you've been selling real estate long enough to know some agents. And you can pick up the phone and call those agents on a day like today and say this, hey, Jim, curious, man, what are you doing Wednesday about 3 o'clock? Just out of the blue. That's the comment. He'll say nothing. Why? Or he'll say, I think I've got something. Why? Well, I got a buddy of mine I want you to meet. He's doing an EXP Explained presentation. I'm not asking you to move the company, but there's 1,000 agents a week. Bah, 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 bah. You go right down the process. But you open up the conversation if you know the person is, hey, what are you doing Wednesday afternoon? You got a little bit of time? Yeah, we're doing about 3 o'clock. Asking that question early will stimulate them to say, well, what's going on? Well, I got a buddy of mine doing an EXP Explained presentation. He's going to explain why 1,000 agents a week are coming. I don't care if you come to the company, but I want you to see why 1,000 agents a week are coming with no pressure. Everybody sort of see, show of hands. You see how you merge that into the conversation. Now, if you don't know how to merge it in, it's because you're not using the guidance. Use the guidance. It works. So I'm going to pause for a minute. Anybody have any questions about that? Comments? Everybody's staring at me today. Okay. So there's only 4 things we do. Make a list, invite, show, answer questions. That's all we do. So I want everybody to understand this. By the end of this year, if you don't have 5 new personal frontline people, it's because you haven't learned how to do the 4 things we just talked about. So don't leave today's session without a better understanding about one of those. Making a list. If you're not clear how to make one, ask. Where do I find names? Ask. Number 2, contacting phrase. If you're not sure what to say, ask. Or if you're not sure how to respond if they say something, ask. That's step 2. Step 3, presentation. There's 3 different ways to do a presentation. One of them is bringing them to a live presentation. A second one is you coordinating a presentation where you take them live to a Zoom that you create, or you do it with your upline and you create. The third one is sending out a video. It is the least successful way for you to sponsor people, sending out a video. In fact, you'll probably have to get somewhere between 6 and 8 people telling you they'll watch a video compared to getting one person to tell you they'll jump on Zoom. I want you to know that's the statistics. At least that's mine. For every 6 to 8 people that say they'll watch it, I get 1 to watch it. Okay? But for every 1 to 2 people that tell me they'll meet me on Zoom, they meet me on Zoom. So it's faster and better to do it that way than sending out a video. But if you're sending out a video, by using CRM Grow and the automation that we have developed, all you got to do is put them into the automation. Whether they set up for the Zoom and they miss it or not, you can put them in an automation that's going to continue to send them information for the next 3 months, unless they opt out. So these are the options for showing the program. You now know we should make a list, we should contact, and we should show, and answering questions should never be done alone. It should always be done with a 3-way or someone else that has not more credibility, but a different story. Remember this, people. Facts tell, stories sell. I'm going to say it a different way. Here's the same way. Facts sell, tell, stories sell. Here's a different way. People engage emotionally, justified by logic. The reason they're going to meet up and watch a video is they're emotionally interested, not logically. They already know 1,000 agents are moving, but are they emotionally interested in finding out why? They already know that we have a retirement plan, but are they emotionally interested to find out why? Some of them know we have a stock program. Some of them know we have lead generation. Some of them know that people love coming to EXP. But you've got to get that logic to become emotional, and that's where the story comes in. That's where saying things like, man, you should come take a look at what this guy's doing, right? So the good news is on Wednesday at the moment, you have 2 guys doing the meeting. So you can say that, hey, come meet this guy. Phenomenal job of showing it, but you got to see his perspective. It's just, I think you'll like it. You've got to plead to the emotional side. Hey, I'm okay if you don't come, but I'm sure you're curious to know why 1,000 agents a week are moving to the company. Why don't we look at it? You can understand it. Whether you're interested or not, we'll take it from there. Again, emotionally connected. Hey, you've been doing this for long enough. I don't know if you have an exit strategy set up. One of the things I want to show you is the exit strategy with EXP, right? How do you like to be able to know that at some point in the next couple of years, you can literally walk away and still make money? Let me show you how that works. Curiosity and emotion. People ask a question all the time. Oh, what kind of splits do you have? And the answer is it's an 80-20 split. And they're like, it's information. That's not motivating. Here's what's motivating. Oh, you mean what kind of splits do we have? Oh, what are you on now? I asked them. They give me an answer. I said, great. Our agents are all on an 80-20 split, but the ones that work with me, they end up getting that 20% back. I want to show you how we do that. Right? You see the difference? It's just that emotional piece to it. It's not facts, it's the story. Hey, we've got a lead gen program that really does work. It takes a while to set up, but imagine getting 5, 10, 15, 20 leads coming in regularly rather than having to buy them through Zillow. That's emotional. Imagine getting leads coming in because you're mining for them rather than relying on them from someone else. That's an emotion. These are phrases you can add to what you're saying, making sure, however, that you're saying the minimums that I've got on the card. I'm going to pause for a couple of minutes. Questions, comments?
So when someone does not show up for the Zoom, do you send a text, call?
If they're,
How do you re-engage?
if they're local, I drive to their house and TP their house. If they're local. Okay?
Yeah.
If someone no-shows me at a whatever, first of all, as it's starting, if it's 1 minute, they're not on, I text them immediately. 3 minutes, I pick up the phone, I call them. And I say, something must have come up. Listen, I grabbed some information, right? Let's get back in touch later today, at least to set up another appointment. That's it. I say that over a voicemail and then I text it, same thing. And then I wait till the next day. The next day, if they haven't responded, I text them the next day. Hey man, is everything okay? Did something go wrong? That's my answer. Hey, is everything okay? Did something happen? Did you get busy or is everything okay? Because I'm interested. Now here's where the emotion comes in. How interested am I with a cold contact? I really can't be. But I want to be interested, so I act interested because I really want to be. If they don't respond at that day, I automatically put them in the automation for video requested. So I know for the next 90 days, they're going to get contacted. By the way, those of you that want to understand how that CRM grow and the automation and all of that works, Kim does a Genius Bar concierge hour every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Central on the same link. She'll take you through all that CRM Grow conversation if you join her then at 1 o'clock, either Tuesday or Thursday. Learn how to use CRM Grow and drip on people. Paula, did I answer your question?
Yes. One more thing. So when you set them up, somebody on an automation, and then, every Tuesday you're going to, or Monday, you're going to send them things about, you know, the transaction training on Tuesday. Do we ever get concerned about them getting too much from you?
Great question. Let me address three things in what you just said. First of all, the automation will already promote the Tuesdays to them periodically. So if you put them in the automation, Kim, correct me if I'm wrong, if you put them in the automation, then once they're in that automation, should you connect with them? You should. But the best way to connect with them, number one, is you're going to get tasks in CRM Grow from the automation. It's going to say, reach out to them and do this. Reach out to them. It's going to tell you what to do. But outside of that, Kim, do you recommend they periodically promote the Tuesdays either regularly or every week?
No, it's built into the automations, the invitations to the Tuesday events. And some of the historical ones are distributed in the automation.
So Paula, the answer to that is, number one is, what do you do with them? You follow whatever the automation says, okay? Here's the other part. Part of the thing we're trying to get all of you to realize is the majority of people you've already talked to are not coming. And the problem is you guys start your day every day looking at that list. Don't you? If you have time after making your new calls, then look at that list. The best prospect you got hasn't seen it from you yet. In fact, I'm going to ask this question, Jeff. This year, it's been 7 months. How many people came to you this year that you showed before 2022 started? Jeff?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, so far this year, I don't know, none that have come back that are in yet, but I'm engaged with a lot of them. And I have to say, I had a text on Friday and I had a text on Saturday, and I've got 2 appointments this week with people that I showed over a year ago. And they re-engaged with me and I haven't talked to them, but I will tell you, I'm dripping constantly. I mean, I'm, you know, and to answer Paula, you know, I don't know that you can overdo it with some of these people. If I've had some people unsubscribe from CRM Grow because I'm inviting them almost weekly to Tuesday, and I'm sending them some follow-up videos, and I'm sending them different things. The ones that unsubscribe, they're not swimming to the boat. If they unsubscribe because I'm giving them too much value, that's probably not somebody I want to work with anyway. That's how I'm thinking about it. You know what I mean? If I'm giving them value and training, and that's what happened. There's a lady that I showed, literally, it was early last summer, probably May of 2021. And I've just stayed in touch. And like, she's been coming to the Tuesday trainings. She got certified in probate because of the one that Michael Higdon did. And then she saw the one last week. And she reached out to me last week and said, okay, basically, like, what's your schedule next week? You know, I'm getting so much out of this. This has been so good. Like, I need to talk to you. Like, I'm ready to do this. What do we do? Let's get together. You know what I mean? And it's been that drip. And the same thing, I had a text on Saturday from a guy, he's in Atlanta. I didn't recognize his number. And same thing, I've been emailing him videos and trainings and all the stuff through CRM Grow, and he's now re-engaged, and we're getting on. I had an Indianapolis number because that's where I connected with him. He's since moved to Atlanta, had a new number. I had to ask him, who is this? And like, oh yeah, I've been getting all your emails, man. I'm loving these trainings, been loving this stuff, you know, whatever. And now he's ready to do it. So I don't know, not to, I don't know. I think there's something about that it's starting, adding the value, and just keep adding the value. Brent Gove hit it in Eric's interview. Build the rapport, add value, add value, add value. When you out-train the company they're at now, you out-coach the company they're at now, you out-give the company they're at now, eventually I think this happens where more and more people will start coming back and say, okay, Paula, talk to me. I think I'm ready to take another look at this, or whatever. So
Jeff, though,
any thoughts on that, Eric?
Yeah, I do, but go ahead, Paula.
Go ahead.
Jeff, do you have some people on automations as well as your additional techs?
Right now, no. And I need,
Okay.
my bad. I need to learn the automations. I haven't learned them yet. I need to learn the automations because that would definitely help with this, you know?
Okay.
So,
All right.
but I'm sending out more of for me right now, at least. And I know this would simplify things. I mean, my daughter helps me with it. I've got her like as an assistant. So, you know, I'm sending out something specific about, you know, hey, join us on Tuesday. We're doing a mastermind on probates, you know, whatever. And I send them the link and all. So I get a little more specific maybe with it than what the automation would, but the automation would certainly help. And I need to learn how to do it. I need to come to Kim's concierge hour. 'Cause I haven't done it.
My point was this though. Jeff spending a significant amount of time just continuing to add value. And very few of those people will ever come back. Don't misunderstand. It is something we still do. But if you spend all of your time just focused on the next call and the next call and the next call, as long as you are following up properly with the ones that want to be followed up with, you'll sponsor more people.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, you'll sponsor more people. Because the bottom line is, all you need to be focused on is who's the next person. And that was the third point, what Jeff said. When someone decides they don't want any more information from you, rarely is that because they would have eventually been sponsored by you. They just are done with it. Part of them being done with it is them going, I don't want to continue to be reminded. And listen to this. No one, I'm sure most of you haven't thought of this, but this is a significant portion of these people. They're saying this: I'm tired about hearing of EXP being great everywhere. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all these people, my friends going on. I'm tired of hearing about it. Everybody calling me. You know what? This guy keeps sending me messages to join Tuesday. I'm done with it. Boom. It's not that he's mad at anything other than, God, I'm tired of hearing of it. And that's okay. Sometimes we are the straw that breaks the camel's back. But I'm going to remind everybody really how to make this easy, because I feel pressure right now. I want to release the pressure. There's only 4 things we do: make a list, contact, show them, and answer questions. And once we've done that, it's up to them. So keep dripping on them using the sources we have. And to get them through that process, if they step out at any one of those, if they have a conversation with you, but they don't see a presentation, how much time are you going to spend chasing them? Don't. Put them in an automation and ignore them. Oh, you did a presentation and they won't get back with you through a follow-up. You know why they won't get back with you to follow-up? They're not too busy. They don't want to get back to you yet. That's why. So take it off of your pressure. It's not about intensity as much as it is about consistency. Just be consistent with brand new people that you're calling, and you will sponsor a boatload. Tim, you had thoughts on the subject?
Yeah, several. To Paula's earlier comment, I want to remind everybody, 15 minutes before the scheduled Zoom, send them a video text. Be different. It's a much more personal reminder than a text message. That'll increase your show rate. And I want to echo something Jeff said. Happened to me Friday as well. Had a guy call me. I first talked to him January 22nd, 2021. He's a broker. He recruited 160 agents to his current firm of 5,000. He called me Friday and said, Tim, I'm done. I'm leaving my current brokerage. I want to reconsider EXP. You and I had multiple Zooms over the last year and a half. I want to make sure we circle back, and I don't not consider EXP. I said, great. What would you like me to do next? He said, send me that video again. I said, okay. I sent him the 9-minute. I sent him Brent Gove's 34-minute. He watched all of them. And he called me Sunday, yesterday. He obviously was comfortable enough doing that because of building massive rapport early on, connecting personally. A total stranger wouldn't have called me on a Sunday. Just like we're afraid to call a FSBO or expired at 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I might wake them up. That's our excuse. That's the inner me is the enemy, as Gove says. But I say that mainly to echo that Jeff just said it. It's happening to him multiple times. It happens to me multiple times. My daughter, Tara, you heard her say, and I stayed in touch with this broker in Pennsylvania. He now is employed by EXP. He now is with us in Tara's organization, and he brought 4 or 5 people with him. Another 25 to 40 or 50 to come, hopefully. So Brent Gove also said he planted a lot of seeds. Do you remember? He said, I sponsored 25 people in 5 months, 5 a month. Never picked up the phone again. 20 people a year, he said, comes to him without him trying, quote unquote. Plant seeds. Don't worry about the outcome today. Enough will happen if you're consistently doing it every single day.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize that, Eric and Tim both. I mean, again, just so keep adding to you're constantly adding to that funnel, that consistency. I've got there's like 240 some people now that are getting these things from me. You know, whatever. I mean, so that's just continually growing. So there will be people that start coming back, like 10, whatever. But you know, when this call is done right here, you know, from 10 o'clock to probably 11 o'clock my time here, you know, Colorado, I'll be on the phone making calls to agents to see if they're open to this week or next week jump on a Zoom with me. I mean, new agents, you know what I mean? So it's just that part, I'm continuing to push people into the funnel on a daily basis, setting up more Zooms. So, yeah.
As
all works
we,
together.
no, great. Man, that sped by. It's a quick hour. Anybody have a question or a comment? I've got some closing comments in the last 4 minutes, but does anybody have something they missed? Something you want to echo? Anything? Anybody? Nope. Good deal. Let me remind everybody of something. I don't mind sponsoring new agents. They're just not who I'm looking for. I don't mind following up with people that are ghosting me, but that's not who I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that makes it easy. And while many of us are spending all of our agent attraction time, and I mean many of us are spending all of our agent attraction time nursing the people who are in the hospital, meaning your group of agents that are prospects and you keep checking on them, rather than just cleansing your brain and go put another 20 in front of them. Go make 20 new calls. Quit worrying about the past. Get them in an automation or some sort of method where every 2, 3, 4 weeks, you're dripping on them. Okay, they don't have to be in an automation getting something every 3 to 5 days. And they really don't have to be in every Monday, hey, tomorrow's transactions. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying that shouldn't come ahead of making new calls. Because I've got my own story. On Thursday of last week, I got a text from Graydon. Graydon said, hey, Eric, are you still with EXP? I looked up Graydon because I didn't remember much other than his name and found out that, yep, I've been talking to Graydon for a while. I hadn't connected with him for a while. I said, sure am. Have a moment for a call? He said, yep. I jumped on the phone, found out he too is fed up to here with his brokerage. You're about to find out a lot of people are going to be fed up to here with the brokerage because now the business isn't what it was. I promise you, get ready. It's about to happen. But here's what happened. I said to him, dude, let's look up the last time we talked. The last time he and I talked was March 22nd, 2021. But every 3 weeks or so, I sent him something. And then a number of weeks ago, I put him in the automation just to put him in, and he reconnected with me. I highly recommend that you understand the most important thing you can do is call 5 new people every day. Who you want to call is up to you. I recommend cappers or above. Where you find their names is up to you, but will guide you if you need it. But if you're not making the 5 new calls a day, it doesn't matter how many you have in your database. It doesn't matter how many you haven't called or how many you've already begun to call. The only thing that matters is what you do today. And I'll leave you with this.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Yes, I can say it again. I'll leave you with this. If you're married, if you have a significant other, then when I hang up, when you hang up, if you sent a message out just saying, thinking of you, really happy you're in my life. If that's all you did, it would make a better relationship. So what could you do with the prospect with a simple text? Sometimes it's just, hey man, thinking of you, hoping things are going well. The market is settled a little bit in my market, but hey, if you ever want to talk, I'm here. You know, just a feel-good message, because we're too business oriented all the time. And we're trying to rush people that aren't ready to buy into us. We're trying to sell them what we have to offer. So think about that over the next week. But it starts with 5 calls a day, 25 or 30 between now and next time we meet. And if you need more help, we'll see you on Thursday. Don't forget to look at Workplace Freedom Team. Check out some of the stuff we have in there. There's recordings, there's postings. And if you ever want to ask a quick question, that's a great place to ask. We'll see you next week. This recording will be up there by the end of the day if you want some of that. Have a great night, everybody.